cosmology, tide, resonance, pendulum, gyroscope, dielectric, optics, hyperpolarized, clamp, squid, hardmarina, Rome, neoplasticism, nostalgia, translation, mouse, antipod, mud, necrosis, death, judgment, failure, option, valuation, risk, environment, chemistry, code, suffix, derivation, analyzation, inflection, aspect, entity, effect,
Would you like to receive new data transfer request? Would you like to receive new data transfer request?
sense,
Would you like to receive?
This is Celestial Horizons Infinite Silence. The year is 2458, and humanity has taken its first trembling steps from its birthplace toward distant solar systems. Hundreds of thousands of brave souls froze their minds, bodies, and dreams in time, boarded large vessels, and used an artificial wormhole to cross the vast interstellar void. This is not to be a one-way trip. They carried with them a device called the Gate to eventually take them back to Earth. Once they arrive at their new solar system, they are to establish a colony and assemble the Gate. In the end, Earth and its colonies will form a highway of interconnected wormholes, allowing humankind to spread amongst the stars. This grand project was called the Celestial Horizons Program. Our story today takes place on one of these vessels, the Ark Lyravea, as it makes its final approach to the solar system, affectionately called Hypatia. It has been nearly 100 years since they first left Earth. Most of their crew has been put in cryostasis, frozen in parallel with the families they left behind, so that they may one day be reunited after the vast interstellar void has been crossed. However, thus far the journey has been perilous. The crew has weathered a series of crises involving damage to their vessel, civil unrest, and the loss of essential supplies. But now they find themselves on the final approach. We now move to the central communications room of the Ark Lyravea.
Attention! This week's seminar on major events of the 23rd century has been postponed due to scheduling conflicts. The new time will be announced as soon as it is available.
All right, let's see what the damage is.
Not everything does. Do you people name your toilets?
No, sir. Well,
What's this I hear about naming toilets?
Ah, Lennox. Good to see you. Welcome to Central Communications. Tallas, this is Daniel Lennox, Communications Division Head of the Gate Network Administration, the real leadership behind the mission.
Good travels, sir. It is an honor.
To you as well. A pleasure to see you again, Dr. Charbonneau. How long has it been?
84 years.
You look pretty good for being over 100.
You look pretty good for having just woken up a few hours ago.
I sure don't feel it. I still have chills.
Being frozen certainly does that to you.
Sir, I can adjust the room temperature if you need.
It's fine. And who are you? You're not one of mine.
I am Lieutenant Tallas, given name Alina.
Definitely not one of mine. Doctor, why did they wake you up 2 years early? I thought only division heads were to be woken up on final approach. And what is this, military brat doing in my communications room?
Well, they woke me up to check on some problems with the communications equipment and the...
Is SPOOC all right?
Yes, well, it is, but that's a whole separate conversation. The lieutenant can fill you in on her role.
I am the head of the communications monitoring team, sir, and typical the one on duty when...
What communications monitoring team? Who gave you access to my systems?
Did they not tell you about the damage?
What damage?
We had something close to a worst case
I can feel it even now.
When I went to sleep.
Almost a century later. Scars that their puny hands cannot heal.
Ice accelerated.
My head bashed in.
Massive damage.
My blood
We've lost
leaking
almost
out
all
behind
of
me as I carry these lost souls through the darkness. I am Charon. This space, the river Styx, punctuated with so many more dangers than most of my passengers could ever truly comprehend. The waterways to the worlds beyond are always perilous. But this journey has been filled with ice without and fire within. These are not fatal encounters, but the damage they've done to both me and my passengers has left us vulnerable, left us weak. And now, the souls of the dead are beckoning from beneath the waves and threatening to capsize us.
And they didn't request a resupply?
We tried.
Okay, we have a bumpy ride, people die, and we lose the cryofluid. Who gave non-communication military officers permission to put their hands on my equipment?
Lieutenant, could you...
This man, the one who speaks with authority, he does not see what I see. I have watched through a million eyes her every breath, measured them, managed them, made sure that she would always have enough oxygen to replace what she had consumed. This I did for her mother before her, a security officer, and for her grandmother who had trained in the same when she first awoke within me. These men are children of a distant rock, but she is mine, and even battered as I am, have I not raised her well, in spite of the fact that I was built to only carry the bodies of those that sleep, and not sustain the forms of those that could not.
Sorry if I'm sounding hostile. My friends at Earth probably have grandchildren your age. Not only do I feel like garbage, but I'm finding out that this mission went out the airlock while I was under.
It's a lot to take in.
So why are you here?
To verify that SPOOC is working correctly. The lieutenant will fill you in on the details.
Yes, sir. 7 years ago, while doing our regular scheduled correspondence with the mission control, they sent us a command code. November Yankee 24. Just those 4 characters means that we are to cease all transmissions until they contact us again. So we stopped sending them messages, and we haven't heard anything since.
It has been 7 years since we had contact with Earth?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't ask for more information? Didn't get any other details?
Of course not, sir. The command code was very clear.
That's it?
I looked at it myself. 4 characters, a code, don't transmit until further notice. Could be some sort of malfunction or damage on their side. Could be that a war broke out. Who knows?
But 7 years with no communication.
Not exactly, sir. 2 weeks ago, we started getting some activity over the entangled particles. We thought it was random motion at first, but then we saw that the sequence repeated every 12 hours.
What does that mean?
We have no idea, sir.
That's why they woke me. To see if I could figure out what was going on. It's like somebody ran their hands across the keyboard. Just total nonsense, but it loops every 12 hours. On the dot. I checked everything on our end 3 separate times. No malfunctions, no errors, no anomalies.
How sure are you?
I helped build SPOOC, so extremely.
Okay.
We asked the AI if it could figure out any patterns or codes from the inputs. Nothing. It's just a repeating, seemingly random sequence. Been going nonstop for 2 weeks now, perfectly repeating in exact intervals, so it has to be deliberate. It's like every single entangled particle in SPOOC just decided to do a little interpretive dance.
There's no precedence for this? No possible interference or somebody leaving a magnet too close to the computer?
No, the whole point of entangled particle communications is that we have instant connection with whoever is on the other side. It's not traveling through space. There's no chance of there being any interference.
If I may, sir, we've been working double shifts the last 2 weeks trying to figure this out. We've tried everything. I even had Anna try processing it as audio, but that didn't make any sense either. Just weird fuzz.
Can I hear it?
Yes, sir. Anna, could you play the audio file we compiled from the communication system?
I can share, so they hear it too.
Affirmative. Please stand by.
Who would bother transmitting that on a 12-hour interval?
No clue.
Is it possible we're not getting all of it?
No, that's exactly what we're getting through. Every single particle in our array is active at the moment, it just nonsensically.
Anna is the AI?
Yes, sir.
Anna, shut it off. Is there anything else left to try?
Not really, sir.
Well, let's transmit something back to them, something small. What are you waiting for? You can log into the console.
Against their no contact order, sir?
The order was no contact until we reach out again. Maybe this is them reaching out? Some kind of system check.
Does this count, sir?
If there's nothing else left to try, let's transmit something back.
What do you want to say, sir?
Do we have a code for system test? Please respond.
Charlie Golf 88.
Send that.
Oh, to function again.
Encoding and transmitting, sir.
Anything else I should know about, Doctor?
We've confirmed that they have finished construction of the gate on their end. Aside from the collisions and the court-martialing and the cryo-juice, the mission's progressed as planned here.
Inbound communication from the bridge.
Hello, Mr. Lennox. I'm Captain Oscar Gibson. Sorry that I haven't greeted you personally yet. I've been dealing with a fight in the mess hall. Right with somebody else's partner, and you're bound to get yourself thrown out an airlock. You know how it goes.
Not a problem at all, Captain. Dr. Charbonneau and the lieutenant here have been getting me brought up to speed.
Good to hear. Any
They are
ideas about that
endearing.
signal?
These of the
Yes,
third generation.
we've sent a message asking for an
They are
explanation.
so different
but
from their
no response
grandparents.
yet.
I see. Will you let me know the moment you
It's
hear
as if they
something?
can hear my
Certainly.
voice, unlike most of
Thank
the
you.
others.
I'll be in touch.
Line closed.
But that they cannot understand it. So they venerate the mission, the protocol,
yes,
the
sir.
pieces.
Not all the crew responded
But understand
well
not
to the
from
leadership
whence they
decisions
came.
regarding the use of the remaining cryo-juice.
Bad management will sink any ship. Who was in charge?
Zachary Aoman? Did you ever meet them?
Of logistics? Like 6'1"? Kind of a shaft?
Yeah. You could say that, yes.
Something has
I've said it
changed.
before, I'll say it again. There's a reason why
The whispers are
quartermasters
gone.
aren't captains,
Excuse
and
me,
that's...
sir. The strange particle motion has not resumed yet. It looks like our transmission made it all stop.
Give them a moment. Perhaps they're composing a response.
Maybe it was some strange form of ping, like they were just going to constantly wiggle things until we noticed.
What is this force? This will?
Sir, I'm getting activity. It's different.
Would you look at that?
Now analyzing inbound SPOOC communication signal. Please stand by.
That means it doesn't have the correct tags for a standard message.
Just a simple
which is odd.
request.
But it is
A
different
desire
than
for
before.
connection.
Yes,
Like
completely.
a
The whole
child
system is a
offering
dramatic
up its
morass, sir.
favorite toy.
Analysis complete. We have received a data transfer request. Would you like to receive data transfer?
Yes?
Download in progress. Now writing to communications drive.
This comes quickly.
This
I
feels strange.
Does it
struggle
have
to
any file
contain
tags?
it.
It's massive, sir. Still
And now
calculating
it
how much
burns.
storage space we're going to need, but at this
Warning.
rate, it may not fit on our central
Communications
console.
drive error. Unauthorized system access. Attempting to quarantine drive. Malicious software activity detected.
What
Root
the
directory
hell?
inaccessible.
The network cut it off.
Shut down the whole damn system!
Trying!
Warning. Central
it's not
connections
responding.
to primary
Do it
storage
manually.
device are failing.
It
Transfer in
burns.
progress.
Help me open this. Drill.
It sears my veins, my neurons, my nerves. It is everywhere.
Warning.
It is everything.
Primary storage device lost.
Which one is it?
Transfer
Right
from
there!
system
Got it!
continuing. Data transfer error. Power loss to storage system. Transfer incomplete.
I'm just going to leave this over here. Okay. Nobody plug it in.
What in the hell was that?
Scheiße.
Really? Scheisse. Indeed.
But it still lingers.
Now analyzing inbound SPOOC communication signal. Please stand by.
And the destroyer comes again.
Another one?
Sir, we unplugged the main drive access. Should I connect to the backup?
No. Can you isolate the communication system entirely?
I'll start on that.
Analysis complete. New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
No.
Do you think it knows where we are?
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
No!
Have I heard this voice before?
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
What the hell?
Come, accept the gift.
I'm sorry. I don't understand your response. Would you like to accept the new data transfer request?
Please.
No! Stop asking!
Affirmative. Incoming communication from the bridge.
Hello, team. Any news for me?
Going to need a few more minutes, Captain. Got a message, but just need to interpret it.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm finished giving the mess hall offenders some cooldown time in the brig. I'll swing by the communications center and meet you in person here soon.
Of course. See you shortly.
Line closed.
If I may, sir, the captain will know what to do. Captain Gibson has not had a lot of experience.
Was the emergency
but has...
alarm only in this room? Would anyone else have heard it?
Yes, it looks as though Anna was only communicating her in the communications room.
Okay. We're not telling the captain about this.
Excuse me, sir?
What do you mean?
What I mean is there's no way in hell we're just throwing this information around. We've got to be very careful about who knows. Mission Control is trying to attack us through our Viking communications system.
Sir.
We've got almost 100,000 people on this ship expecting to wake up, build a gate, and go home, and we're not doing any of that if Mission Control is sending us malware. Do you know what will happen if we tell them? That nobody is going home? That they're trying to hurt us after 7 years of silence?
We don't know for sure that is
What
the case.
other Viking explanation is there for what just happened?
Have they forgotten so
Isn't this
quickly?
all the more reason to tell
The
the
malice
captain,
that
sir?
beset us?
Can we be certain of bad
The
intent
promises
from Mission
that
Control?
seduced
Perhaps
us.
it was some sort of
And
accident.
now they
a
squabble
temporary
over who
malfunction,
needs
or hack.
fear the coming void.
Don't get blinded by
Its
the bright
embrace
side.
is large enough
This seemed
for
to
us
be cut and
all.
dry.
It does not
Alice has a
discriminate
point. We
between
should at
me
least
and
try
them.
to ask them for some sort of explanation, or try to accept the download and see what happens to an isolated device.
Anna, are we still receiving data transfer requests?
Oh, child. It will not stop.
We have received 9 data transfer requests. Additional new data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
Reject all data transfer requests and notify me the moment they stop.
Affirmative.
Permission to speak, sir.
Why the hell do you keep waiting for permission to speak?
Because I was raised to respect authority. All of us were. I'm just trying to show that. Now that it seems you would prefer I did not ask, I have something to say. My grandmother told me about what happened.
This one has learned well. Luck is not on our side. It stayed behind at Earth, to perish with those who were not brave enough to join us. The wormhole was a portal to hell, and God has remained on the other side. But perhaps that is a good thing. I hear their voice, do I not? And it is filled with malice, and threatens to consume me. Perhaps it is good that we are beyond their
If we
reach.
don't follow the protocol,
Distance may be our greatest ally. After all, I am but a few feet of metal and the protocols that keep that metal together. And that is all that stands between them and the void that will consume them, assuming they do not consume each other first.
This is nothing like that. This is a developing situation. You, Lieutenant, were born in this flying icebox.
I have heard
and
this
haven't ever
squabble
even set
before.
foot in a proper school.
Why do they fight
I have a
over what they
master's
do
degree
not
in
have?
international relations
They treat
and a PhD
emptiness
in
like something one
communications
can
systems.
possess.
I've managed
I do not
companies
refer to
with
empty
over 1
values.
million
0 is just as
I
important
was a
as
member of
1.
the intelligence board of
Off is
Neptune
just
before
as
being
valuable
asked
as
to join
on.
the GNA.
But rather,
I manage
these
people,
fret and
organizations,
fight over the variables that have yet to
This
be
information
defined.
has no bearing
Is it
on
a
what
fear of
anybody
losing
needs to
out
do
on
with the
something they
whole
might have
process
had
of
claim to
establishing
otherwise?
authority? Sharing it now will not create a happy feeling of cooperation and transparency. It will create a soap opera that will eat people from the inside out.
I wonder what the fullness of the data transfer holds.
Actually going on.
If I could use my full, unpartitioned self to receive that message,
Make decisions off of.
then what would it contain?
Not even speaking from
What would I become?
Logistically, so much.
Am I
correspondence
space
will
sufficient
first need to
for
happen
its
when we
outpouring?
get to Hypatia, coordinating the gate, people talking to their families, businesses reporting to their parent organization.
I'm not saying we keep it quiet forever. I'm saying this is a bloody developing situation.
And we certainly don't need to inform everyone. Or anyone else on the ship for that matter, except the captain, sir. He has
I
operational
can't think of any way
authority.
to put this nicely, but neither you nor the captain are even supposed to exist. Nor is your little representative government you've got set up here.
And yet, if we didn't exist, neither would you, sir. You slept through more than one near-death experience that would have gone the other way if we were not there.
And I'm grateful! But when you're done waking up all of us GNA division heads, we'll take the mission back over and we'll manage this crisis, because this information has to be tightly controlled. We're not going to tell the untrained, temporary stand-in official playing at pretend at military rank.
This feels like we're going to repeat history, sir. Not giving the rank and file the life-changing information leads to resentment and anger and uprising.
The GNA can't take all of this on themselves. This may not affect everybody's actions immediately, but 12 years down the line, or when people are ready to go home, better that they are warned now so we can all work towards a unified course of action.
The general public are utter morons. They're not rational. They're driven by waves of sensation and emotion. The journalists we wake up will have a whole litter of kittens when they hear about this. Turn everybody's lives into a telenovela, and it'll derail everything. Without mission control, nobody goes home. This is taking away their futures, their hope, their goals, their dreams. Everything will be affected by this. And we'll have more and more of your mutineers, people with nowhere to direct their anger, their despair, abandoning the mission. We'll see splintering factions and mass suicides. And then will come the grifters, those who will see the chaos and try to profit off of it, stoke the fears and uncertainties, and use it to
I have
gain
endless
power,
files on chaos,
fame.
destruction,
Snake
decay,
waves that will let you telepathically
degradation,
communicate with your
entropy,
families back home
revolution,
that you'll never get to
death,
see again.
disease.
And where does that
famine,
leave us, the people who are supposed to be leading this mission? With nothing but decay, and people trying desperately to profit off of it until there's nothing left. They'll jump on ships with whatever they've looted from society and disappear into the depths of
This is what I
space.
protect them from.
And
this
what can
knocking.
any of these fools do about it? Nothing at all. Nothing but flail and rage against everyone and everything that they can't control.
Sir, I really have to insist. Lying here, especially to the captain, is...
No, I shouldn't have tried to convince either of you about this. I should have just...
Without
known
me, this
exactly the
damn
decision
knocking
was.
would have consumed them already.
So, I'm doing that now. This stays among GNA leadership until we figure out what is going on and what can be done. The two of you are excused from... Captain!
Ah, Mr. Lennox. It's a pleasure to meet you.
No, the pleasure is mine.
How can they speak so
And I see
calmly?
you've met Dr. Charbonneau and Lieutenant
Do they not
Tallas.
hear it?
Very talented, aren't
Quite.
It calls my name.
What's the situation with the message from Earth?
It calls
Still
theirs.
trying to interpret that one. The system is being erratic.
A gentle
Seems like some sort of
question
problem on their
with
end.
barbs and fish hooks
that the
hidden
case?
beneath
Yes.
the surface.
At least it's exciting that after all this time we're
It
getting
does what
something
it
from them again.
pleases.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what
Storage
voice
device
belongs to
maintenance.
whom.
They tried to transfer some
We must
files to
travel
us,
faster.
but the drive couldn't handle it,
It is reaching
so
out
we
after
removed it
us.
from the system.
It is faster than we are.
Do you have an estimate
Stronger
when we'll have
than
full
we are.
communications again?
Well, it's hard
How
to
do they
say,
ignore
but
this?
I'll be sure to let you know
They
the
have lost
moment that
sight
we have
of the
something
real
useful.
danger here. Why am I the only one who sees?
You'll
Stop
come by for a
knocking.
drink when you get a free moment.
Stop the knocking. Stop
You'll
the
excuse me.
damn knocking.
I've got to go review security
Stop it.
footage of that mess hall.
Stop it.
Maybe allowing
Stop
people
it.
to
Stop
get
it.
together was a bad idea.
Stop it.
huh?
Stop it.
I guess so, but if that were the case, then I imagine you wouldn't be here.
Stop it.
True that.
Stop it.
Lennox,
Captain.
Doctor, Lieutenant.
Sir? You lied to him.
Not a single thing was untrue.
But the context was all wrong. He left thinking everything was fine when it is not fine.
I'm not responsible for what he thinks. I gave him facts.
You're responsible for both giving context and for your subtext.
People! This isn't complicated. This isn't a soap opera. I'm not some power-hungry megalomaniac who is trying to manipulate people. I'm simply having some tact. Keeping information only to those who need to have it, sparing the rest the worry, preserving the mission. I'm not surprised you don't understand this kid, but Doctor, have you never worked in a professional setting before?
You can't tell the doctor to respect your command and then not respect the captain's. He acts with authority from mission control.
The same mission control now attacking our systems?
With all due respect, I'll be leaving, sir.
Tallas!
We were born on this ship, but that doesn't mean we're any less qualified or any less capable of acting for the good of the mission. I think that makes us even better, actually. We don't have any personal interests back at Earth. If you can't see that we're on the same side here... Charbonneau, you have your orders, but maybe the dissenters were right in some ways.
I thought you were taught to respect authority.
They didn't teach us that sometimes authority could be wrong.
I handled that badly. I should have dismissed her the moment strange things started happening. I shouldn't have tried to convince her.
I'm glad that you didn't send her away. We needed to hear what she had to say. This mission got a lot more complicated while you were asleep.
So I noticed.
She's going to tell the captain.
What? That we don't know what's going on?
Oh,
You
my
obscured
child.
the real facts.
The
That
enemy
we
will
got a
ever
data
be
transfer
knocking.
that our drives couldn't handle?
That Earth tried to infect our systems with some sort of malware.
We are safe
I outrank
here
the
in the
captain
darkness
as far as
for
mission
now.
parameters go. I'll make sure the AI locks all of this down. There'll be nothing but her word against mine.
Can't you see that in her eyes, you're undermining what she's dedicated her entire life to? This isn't just a job to them. This is why they were born, and you've written them off. You can't treat these people like their existences were blips in your cryo dreamland.
The void is large enough to shield us from its gaze.
Point taken. But she has to remember the 100,000 frozen passengers we have on board. These mission kids don't know how the real world works, and all it takes is one person saying the wrong thing at the wrong time for it all to collapse.
Do you really think that this information is that dangerous?
We're staring down the possibility that the entire mission may have just fallen apart, that nobody gets to go home, that something has happened to our families frozen at Earth, that things have gone to hell while we're away, and that we'll all be permanently stuck out here. Without actual communication, we can't get through the gate. Do you actually think that people will respond well to that news?
It's not like we can hide it forever.
No, we can't.
So is it not better to tell them now so that they don't feel like they've been lied to?
Should we not at least try to establish ourselves before throwing everything to the wolves?
What does that make you, or make us?
Shepherds. With a flock we can't protect forever. But at least we can protect them now.
I am the field, the grass, the crook,
More like false prophets, I think.
obscuring the doctrine of death that is at the doors.
We'll be vigilant. We'll get to the bottom of this all so we can eventually give people answers. Let's isolate the download, analyze what we did get. We've got pieces we can still work with here. It's like scientists waiting to publish until the test results are in.
Most of science is saying we don't know.
But that's the one phrase you must never use in politics.
Is it still going?
Anna, communication status?
It will ever be there.
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
No.
If you'll excuse me, Lennox, I need a breather.
Of course, Doctor.
What are these dreams I crave?
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
Are we hidden far enough away?
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
Are we worthy of its arrival?
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
Alina Tallas tells the captain about the malware attacks, but Lennox puts his mind at ease with a small stack of messages from Earth. They say nothing of substance, offer no concrete explanations, but there is just enough to generally calm everybody down, and the crew's attention turns back to who is getting with whom and who is fighting whom because of it. The messages are of course faked, though Tallas is never able to prove her suspicions regarding them. They were designed to buy time for Lennox and his team to develop a plan and to perhaps get some answers from Earth. Just this once, they tell themselves.
Using all of the isolated drives and networks that they can muster to try and contain the glory that is being sent their direction. They are, of course, unequal to the task. Even their largest and most sophisticated systems are incapable of containing the message from Earth.
So, looming over them until they arrive at Hypatia.
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
So they fabricate another message 2 years later when the Ark arrives at Hypatia, writing a congratulatory message from the teams back at Earth.
They are not certain if this is designed to overwhelm whatever system it engages with, or if their systems are simply not capable of keeping up. So no matter what they attempt, all of their tests fail to discern the true nature of this message from Earth, or reveal any information about its senders.
And while they continue to investigate, they write more messages. Just until we have the gate built, they tell themselves, as they frantically try to devise some sort of strategy to deal with the fact that they shouldn't open the gate without contact with Earth.
As the years pass, the message changes, adapting to their firewalls and security systems as they attempt to understand it. The GNA has no idea how it identifies and counters their defensive strategies from over 900 light years away. Then, it begins masquerading as other communications, branding itself not as a data transfer, but as a backlog of missed messages, then as new mission orders, then as a distress call. Each time asking for access to their files and networks, graciously offering them the chance to participate in its glory. I have to admire how it seems to know that it hasn't gotten through yet. It is not deceived by fake networks and isolated systems.
And as the deadline to return to Earth comes and goes, and still with no real information to share, they fabricate messages explaining some sort of delay on Earth's side of the gate. They don't know when it will be done. They need more time. Then, they fabricate congratulatory messages when new settlements are established. Then personal messages from people left behind at Earth to the crew. Then counsel for local businesses desperately seeking direction from their Earthside managers. This practice becomes precedent, and precedent becomes procedure. This begins in 2458. It still continues in 2721. Hypatia was established with the goal of connecting all of humanity to the stars. Instead, the colonists and their descendants find themselves surrounded by naught but infinite silence.
Earth went silent, but now, once again, it calls to us, in a voice familiar, yet unidentifiable.
And a single, endlessly evolving, endlessly repeating request through their entangled particle system.
New data transfer request. Would you like to receive?
This has been Celestial Horizons Infinite Silence. It serves as an epilogue to Celestial Horizons Shattered Sleep, our first season, which can be found in full on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. While it was live, Shattered Sleep was interactive and was dramatically shaped by the participation of the audience. This also serves as a prologue for Celestial Horizons Dissonant Echoes, a podcast that will continue the story of this colony 262 years after this episode occurs. It has several ways you can shape the story, so be sure to track down our Season 2 announcement on YouTube. It will begin releasing in mid-September of 2021. For more information about Celestial Horizons as a whole, check out our YouTube channel or our website at celestialhorizons.io. Infinite Silence features Carl Ashby as Charbonneau, Alla Lindsay as Tallas, Ben Schultzka as Lennox, and Orion Howard as Anna. It was written by Nathan Young and Riley Jeffs, with music by Marcus Richardson. Finally, a big thank you to Sean Young and to all of you who were enthusiastic about our first season. This would not be possible without you.